Hi everyone, I'm going to go right into my Module 2 practice. So our question was, what is the best land cover for a healthy watershed? So I kind of took a slightly different approach just because of a recent experience. I got to take my homeroom students on a Chesapeake Bay field trip. We went to Inner Harbor, we got to go on this duck boat, and they got to kind of try out different things, problem solve a little bit, and learn more about the Chesapeake Bay. They got to find out about some of the damage that's been done to the bay and what the Chesapeake Bay Foundation is doing to kind of repair and fix these issues. So kind of a very STEM-involved sort of activity and field trip. I've included the link to the website here, but I'll also put it in the thread on D2L, in my thread on D2L. So I did some research and I wanted to focus a little bit more on how do we make sure that the water is at like a healthy level for the wildlife to survive in these, bodies of water, because that was part of this field trip. And one of the things I found is that gravel is supposed to be one of the better ways to kind of filter, water going back, pure water going back in, and having there be less soil and, pollution and irritants going back into this body of water. So I did use a Pennsylvania standard under ecology and environment, and I focused on the standard that states describe factors that affect the quality of ground and surface waters. And I wanted to include this eligible content, which I felt was very directly related because we're looking at the water cycle and physical processes, specifically including runoff right here and infiltration. So my plan, I did use the erosion bottle article. I had a very similar plan. The only slight change I made is that I didn't have the cups that the water was kind of draining into. I didn't have them hanging from the bottles. I just had them, underneath strategically so the water would drop into them. And I also did have a conversation and I collaborated a little bit with a coworker to just kind of get a second perspective, because in my brain, or in my mind, two brains work better than one, or two minds work better than one. My materials are listed here, kind of basic things, very similar to the erosion bottles, minus the gravel. So here are some pictures of my process. So I have the gravel in the first one, I have mulch in the middle one, and then I have sod here in the last one. The cups are kind of directly underneath, so the same order, gravel in the first one, mulch in the middle one, and then sod in the last one. And if we had any concern about STEM being engaging, I had two very curious and focused STEM participants. So I'm going to try to show you this short video. My water bottle is dense. Let me show you. So if you can notice, the one on the left was actually the clearest, and that was the one that the water was traveling through gravel. The one in the middle was pretty clear, but it was slightly darker than the one on the left. And then the one on the right going through the sod was a little bit more cloudy and just didn't come out as clear as the other two. So just some improvements that I felt like I could make, maybe doing some more research prior to the task, testing out like additional materials or combinations of the sod and gravel, mulch and gravel, and also completing it outside so I had less water to clean up. I did also feel like this would be a really good activity to do in collaboration with the duck boat field trip. And just some connections here, making connections among STEM practices. I felt like there was a big developing using models, using appropriate tools strategically, and then planning and carrying out these investigations, and then making informed decisions about technology given its relationship to society and the environment. So I felt like this was a really cool experience and very unique, especially connected to the field trip that I just had. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing some responses.